You are now entering the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. We in the building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Found out I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. Good morning. Good morning. This is your Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show, and I'm your host, Ariana, aka, let me remember who the fuck I am this morning, aka Divine Moon Goddess. Yes, we are phasing out the name, and I apparently don't know who the hell I am today. I got way too many alternate personalities that I need to let go. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Sasha. Um, good morning, Veronica. So thank you for joining. Thank you for all the love, you guys that share me out. Share, keep sharing my shit out. Keep sharing my shit out. Okay. You know, the biggest thing is when you're saying some real shit, people don't want to hear it. You ain't getting a million views. You know why? Because motherfuckers don't want to hear the real shit. And it's okay. I understand. I understand. Good morning, Ailey. Is it Friday yet? It's motherfucking Friday. I don't know who this is, Facebook user, but hello. Yeah. You guys, please be smarter with these scammers. I keep telling you guys the same shit over and over and over and over. Some of you guys that are new, I will not reach out to you. I'm not going to be in your inbox like, "Hey beloved." That is your cue right there. Right when they say, "Hey beloved, I have a message from the ancestors for you." Let me tell you, your ancestors are not coming to me, waking my ass up like, "Hey, I got a message for Sasha. Go to her." They're not doing that. Okay. Let me tell you, they're not fucking doing that. What they do is they tell you to come to my show and listen. They're like, they give you the urge. You know what? Maybe I want to listen to Divine today. Ancestors are not over here like, "Hey, I need you to reach out to 20 people on your live." And I got 20 different fucking ancestors in the background, like, "Hey, no, 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 my person, my person." That's just not how they work. So please, you guys, please don't fall for this bullshit. Don't fall for the bullshit. You guys got to look at the name also. You see my name on the screen? There's no marks, there's no asterisks, there's no goddesses, there's no moon with MON, there's no divine, duvine. Just, I don't know why I had to say it like that. Good morning, D. Good morning, Lily. You guys just got it. You guys got to get on it. I'm not ever going to message you guys. The only time I message from my lives is to remind you that you bought some shit from my Crystal Live show. Other than that, I'm not messaging you. Okay? And not because I don't like you guys. It's because there's too many scammers, okay? And I actually work in an integrity way. So I let you come to me. I don't go chasing anybody for readings. I don't go chase anybody for any work. Spirit actually keeps me really fucking busy, where that is not the program. So when someone's in your inbox, I want you guys to do one first thing, not even with my name. I don't give a shit about that. First thing you got to ask yourself is, why is this person so available that they're messaging me? Yes. That is your first clue that something's wrong with this. Why is this person messaging me? I didn't search for this person. I didn't look for this person. I didn't call this person. Why are they in my inbox? Scammer 101. You guys need to go to my YouTube and go watch the show on scammers. Okay. I did a whole morning show on scammers. So you guys would know. Okay. Um, I'm not doing readings right now. I'll do them at the end of the show. Right now, it's the show. Like real shit. Like it's like, and the thing is, scammers will prey on your desperation. Scammers will prey on your desperation, and they also prey on your inability to use your intuition because something tells you it's not right. Your gut is like, wait a minute, something's not right here. Mm, that ain't divine. But you don't listen, okay? So you don't listen, and then what happens? Now, if you're coming across any scammers in the group, let me know because we can delete those. Report them to us or report them to the admin team in the group. Um, so we could take them out. We could take them out the group, but I can't take them off my business page. My business page is public. It is what it is, and it's actually allowed for them to steal my picture. So you guys, they're actually not doing nothing wrong. Once you post something on social media, it's public. It's not private. It is now public domain. So they actually can steal my picture and do whatever they want with it, which is crazy. As long as they don't harass me or threaten me, I guess it's not against Facebook's community guidelines. So it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Um, Mandy, I have a minimum donation, so make sure you're paying attention to that in the comments, okay? I mean, somewhere pinned. Oh, why are you depressed, boo? We're gonna send you some love and some light. Right, right, right. I'm actually doing good. I'm gonna take tomorrow off because I need a day off. I need to get out to Mother Gaia. I need to go ground. I need to go put my feet in the dirt somewhere. And so tomorrow I'm gonna take the fucking day off and just woosah. Okay. So yeah, you guys, please. I talk about the scammers all the time. I just don't like talking about them because we give them too much credit. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you this: if you fall for it, that's your lesson. You fall for it twice, that's really more than a lesson. That's just you being ignorant and naive. And I hate to say it like that, but I need you guys to wake the fuck up. All right, I need you to wake up and stop letting some of these people get away with it. The only reason why they get away with it, and the only reason why it's a thing, it's because we allow it. We allow it and we fall for it. And you got to start going with your gut. What's your gut telling you? I'm not ever going to message you guys unless you have messaged me first about something. That's how I operate. That's how I roll. That's how I've rolled since the beginning, since I started this shit. And I'm not going to change how I roll. Believe me, someone who's authentic, someone who is doing the work of spirit, they're busy as fuck. They don't have time to sit and message everybody on a fucking live. Okay, so you guys, please understand that even not even with me, with other people, you get some other Alibaba, whoever the fuck wants to text you, make sure that you understand they're not real. Nobody authentic that is doing what they came here to do is just sitting twiddling their thumbs. They're busy. They're doing shit. So be careful. Anybody in your box, don't fall for it. Scammer. Bye, scammer. Delete, blocked. The page I have is not even my personal page. I can't send any friend requests from that page. So if you're getting someone like, oh, send me a friend request, why the fuck do you need to send me a friend request on my live from my page? You guys it's gotta be a little bit more common sense with it. Like, why the fuck would she send me a thing talking about send request for a message when I was just watching her live? Again, they use these tactics because they don't want you, they want you to just believe it, but you got to stop and think. This is where you expand yourself and start to think like, hold up, wait a minute. This don't even sound right. This sounds like some bullshit. And most of you guys know. You guys are like, yeah, this is some bullshit. And you're in my box about it. But there are some people who have fell for it. Don't fall for it. Okay. All right, Mandy, I'm gonna write you down. 1111. No, it would be a reading. I don't pull one card. I don't do one card pulls. One card ain't gonna tell you shit. And I know I'm very gifted, but one card ain't gonna tell you shit. Block them. If you report them, what's gonna happen is Facebook is going to then shut you down because you're reporting too many people. Because again, it's not against their guidelines. Um, so as much as I thank each and every one of you for going and reporting these people, honestly, Facebook doesn't give a shit. Okay. All D. All right, we're gonna send you some love, boo. Right. And I think and it's nothing to make you feel like it's nothing to make you feel like shit. And I'm not trying to make you feel like shit, but you guys got to do better with your own energy, right? Because they prey on your desperation. They prey on your need to know some shit. And if you're not in the place to where you can stop and assess something before you just jump at it because it sounds good, then that's where those lessons come. That's where there's like, fuck, I knew I shouldn't have fell for this shit because your gut was already screaming to you. And so that's the biggest thing is it's like stop, take that moment and stop for a second and say, wait a minute, what is this that's really coming at me? And is it really something genuine? Just know genuine people are never going to be in your box like that. They just don't operate in that way. They don't go on people's lives. They don't message people on other people's lives and stuff. It's just you got to look at the integrity behind the actions of people. People that are they're standing in their power and they're doing this, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. None of the people associated, because I get a lot of people in my box like, do you know this person? And I'm like, no, nobody I fuck with is going to be on my live messaging you guys. Hey, do you need a reading? And if they do that, you guys get at me because that's actually something we don't do. It's a professional courtesy. We don't do that. I don't go on nobody else's lives. I don't go in nobody else's group promoting my shit. They don't do the same thing for me. So you got to kind of look at it. If someone's doing that, you got to kind of look at the integrity behind that as well. Oh, Mandy. The block list is y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even want to know my block list. And I've banned my banned and block list. Ah, they do. They prey on it. And because we can't sometimes we're so much in the moment that we go against everything we know to be true. And so that's the lesson. The lesson is to learn from it and don't do it again. So please, you guys, I know I got a lot of new people who watch me. Again, I'm not going to be messaging you guys, especially from my live. I'm live. I'm not going to go back and start messaging you about a message. I have a website. If you need a reading, you will come find me. If you really want a reading, you will reach out to me. I'm just not the person who works like that. I don't go off of, who's messaging. And if you've liked my post, I don't start messaging you and harassing you. I don't do that fucking promotional sales call bullshit. I don't do it. One, because I don't fucking like that shit myself. I damn sure ain't gonna operate like that. Okay. So just know whoever's in your inbox pretending to be me, it is just that. Block them and keep it pushing. Okay. You guys, some of you guys actually have my inbox because you have messaged me. And so just remember, go back to the real inbox. You're like, wait a minute. I was just talking to her. Where's the other messages? So you got to remember, go to the other messages because especially if you have content where you've talked to me, that you got to wait a minute, let me match up the name is never going to be exactly the same. Divine Moon Goddess, and that's why I'm going to change my name soon to my real name. And then if they do that, then they are impersonating me, and then we can report them. So that's the difference. The difference is the name. And once I get my account to be official, I got to be official. Good morning, Crystal. Yeah, yeah. Just block, right? And you're gonna keep blocking because unfortunately, this is a public page, and that's just kind of how it is, right? So today's topic. Why am I forgetting what the fuck we're talking about today? We're talking about fear today. Hold on. We're talking about fear. So, what is fear and why do we allow it to control us? Is I had to remember, like, what the fuck are we doing today? So, Amanda, I do have you down for a reading. I will get you as soon as I get done. So, let's get it cracking. Thank you again. Once again, this is the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. I am your host, Ariana. One of the things is, of course, this is brought to you by Divine Moon Goddess Healers and Readings.com, where all your questions get answered. That's my business. That's my legal business. I also have a legal business page in that name as well. And you can go to there to book right now in the month of February, 25% off all services using code knowledge 444. Information is in the description. Okay, Tiffany, I got you, boo. Information is in the description on where to go to book and look at my packages. I have several packages available, but again, 25% off for the month of February. And if you guys didn't notice, YouTube channel, if you're not on my YouTube channel, you're missing out. I just dropped most of the energy checks for the month of February. Interesting reads on all of them. And I've also started the extended. So there's an extended where I go and clarify, go a little bit deeper on every zodiac. You can go to my website also to purchase the extended version of the reading. So crazy thing of putting that together. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. If you don't have my YouTube channel, I'm going to put it in the comments. And that way you can go and become a Divine Moon Goddess subscriber. Divine Moon Goddess subscriber. You forgot? Uh-huh. I'm going to put it in the comments right now. You know, one of the thing is a lot of people don't realize I have a YouTube, and I actually started on YouTube. So that's actually where I started July 2019. I started on YouTube, and you know, my goal was to be a YouTube tarot reader. And Spirit was like, "No, bitch. No, we want you somewhere else. And you going to go live and become this voice of motherfucking reason and all types of shit." So very interesting what Spirit does, what Spirit does to us and for us, right? It's like, I'm gonna be a YouTube tarot reader, and then I never showed my face. I just showed my hands. If you go back, you actually, all my videos are still on there. So you actually could go back to 2019 and see my first videos. And it's really funny because I use them in my tarot class. And when people are going through where they're very nervous and they're just doubting themselves, I actually send them a video like, go watch this. And once they watch it, you could hear me turning pages of the book and shit because I'm forgetting the cards. It's actually pretty fucking hilarious. We all got to start somewhere. And so people will see me in my where I am at now, where I'm super fucking confident about what I do. But if you go back, you go back to this person who is very like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I have no clue. I'm forgetting the cards. What the fuck does this mean again? You know, overthinking ass. And it's kind of funny. So today we're talking about fear and why we let it control us. And there's some crucial steps that I've taken in my life to break out of fear, because fear keeps us in a box, right? We're in this little box. I'm going to stay comfy and cozy in my little comfort zone, and I'm not going to move forward. And nope, that's scary over there. Don't know where that's going. Nope, can't go over there. Nah, I can't see. I can't see further than the tree. So fear kind of keeps us in this place of comfort, right? Safe zone. We think it's a safe zone. It's actually a facade. It's a facade of safety. It actually is not a safe zone. And so when we kind of get to those points where we look a little bit deeper, we're like, why am I afraid to go over there? You know, we see it all the time. If you've ever been in a job that you fucking hate, and I mean you fucking hate the job, but you still go there, you tell yourself, well, I go there because they pay me pretty good. Why do you fucking hate the job? Well, it's the people, it's the environment, it's the commute. Yet we don't do anything to change that. We sit there and we keep going to this fucking place that we can't stand. I remember going home every day and fucking complaining about the same shit. And then I would sometimes, you know, you'd have the coworker that you and the coworker would call each other and talk more shit about the job. But you still go. Or you have the coworker that you get to work and y'all talk shit about the job at work. Interesting, right? But we're too afraid to leave. It's a false sense of security, right? We're afraid to leave because it's like, uh-oh, No, I can't be without a job, and I don't want to. I don't know what that other job is going to be. I'm comfortable here. See, I could come here and talk shit. I can come here. I'm comfortable. I know what I'm doing. I can talk shit. I can fucking probably spend 20 minutes on my phone and still talk shit about the business, right? I could have personal calls. Yeah, but I can still talk shit. But I'm too scared to go get that new job because I might have to show up. These people might really not like my ass. So it's the fear that keeps us stuck in most of the time situations we don't want to be. We know it happens with relationships, right? We know it happens with relationships where it's like, I'm not happy. They're not happy. Why the fuck are we still here? I remember being with my daughter's father, and I remember me and him having a conversation like, me and you can't get along. We both know that we need to walk away. Why the fuck are we still here? Like, it was like, ding, 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 ding. What the fuck are we doing? Neither one of us want to be here. Neither one of us can get along. We don't fucking hang out together. We don't have mutual friends. It's like we're two strangers trying to fucking be together. Like, what's the point? So I think sometimes we stay because it's our comfort zone. Why? At least I know this asshole, right? That's what most people say. Well, at least I know this idiot. I know this asshole. I know this person. I know what I'm dealing with. I know someone who actually, separated from their wife, got back together, was like, I know this crazy. This is crazy that I know. I don't know these other crazy people coming towards me. This is some shit that's off the wall. I can't do this. At least I know how to deal with this crazy. And that's what we'll do. We'll go back to a situation because we know it. It's easy. This person I know how to deal with. I've been dealing with it for a long time. It's our comfort zone. We're too afraid to see that maybe there is nobody else out there. Maybe nobody will like my ass. Maybe this is the only person that will like me. And see, that's what fear does. Fear keeps you in a place of overthinking. What if I don't find nobody else? What if I'm alone? And see, that's the biggest thing. Oh man, I'm going to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I'd rather deal with this person than be alone. How many of us have dealt with that? So fear always keeps you in this place of not taking the next step to get to where you truly want to be. You have to cross the line of fear to get to your goals. No successful person sat in a safe zone. I want you guys to understand that. No successful, rich, wealthy, happy fucking person sat in a safe zone. They started to do shit that got outside the box. They started to do shit that scared the fuck out of them, scared the hell out of them. Okay. Because you know the fuckery, right? Right. You know it. You're used to it. Hmm. Fear will keep you in this place of just stuck. And you have to realize that when you start to feel that I'm too afraid to see what I don't see, I'm too afraid to let go, because the biggest thing is letting go of what we know for what we can't see. And that's where you have to put your trust in a higher power to know that once you let go of some bullshit, there's something beautiful coming in. But we don't have faith. People lie and say they have faith all day. Oh, I have faith. I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe, but you will sit in the same shitty ass situation because you have no faith. You have no faith in yourself. You have no faith in your life. You have no faith in the people around you. So you will sit in the same shitty situation. Biggest point is you don't have faith in yourself. You don't believe you can do it. Because if you did, you would walk away. If you did, you would take that challenge. If you did, you would get the fuck up and change some shit. But you don't, because you don't have faith in self. You're afraid to fail. How many people are afraid to fail? Oh, that's a big one. Afraid to fail. Why? Why are we afraid to fail? When you were a kid, you failed all the fucking time, but you got back up. You got back up. How many times did you fall down, skin your knee, but you got back up on that fucking bike? Why? Because you really wanted to ride that shit. With your chafed knees, fucked up chin, you got back on the bike. You got to take yourself back to those times where you were willing to go past the fear. You got to go back those times. The first time you got on a swing, right? And you saw somebody like the bigger kids. Y'all remember that? You were the smaller kid, because remember there used to be like big kids, small kids and shit. And you used to see these big kids swinging on the swing, and they would jump off, and you're like, oh shit. They just jumped off the swing. And you want to do it, but you're scared. Like, I want to do it. But you did it. You got on that fucking swing, kept swinging until you got this momentum. Even if you busted your ass afterwards, right? Even if you busted your ass afterwards, you got this momentum. Boom, you jump off. Most of us fucked ourselves up. Most of us probably did not land on our feet, right? Scariest shit ever, but we fucking did it. Morning, Renee. You got to stop being afraid to fail. Um, there's so many things that you've already accomplished in your life. There's so many things that you have pushed past fear. What's stopping you now? Oh, because society says at this age you're supposed to be this. So if you start over, oh, you're a failure. The fuck? Get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck if you've been at a job 20 years. I don't care if you've been at a job 20 years. It is time to walk away. It's time to walk away. But people are afraid to lose. Oh, I've invested 20 years in this shithole. So you'd rather them fire you than you walk away. That's what you'd rather do. It's easier. Right? I'd rather them like can me and then be pissed off and mad that this place fucking fired you, right? Instead of just walking away and finding something else. Be mad as fuck when this person leaves you, even though you don't even fucking like this person. But you'll sit there until that happens. So the thing about fear is you got to understand that it's there to teach you some valuable lessons. And those places of unknown are some of the best creative, beautiful moments in life where you push past the fear and you allow yourself to get to a place of unknown. Like I'm in uncharted waters. Like the first time you jumped in a fucking pool, probably some of you don't even remember because you were so little, right? But that one time you almost drowned, fuck, changes shit. Because then your ego is like, no, we almost drowned. We're not doing that again. Hell no. You stay your ass at 3 feet. So, and not everyone develops that fear, but some people do. It's like, remember that one time I almost drowned? Remember the one time remember the one time? And then your whole life is surrounded by that one time of something that almost fucking happened, right? You got to remember, yes, we do learn stuff that maybe we shouldn't do again, but most of it is like, all right, you already been taught that you can get through some heavy shit and keep going. There is no such thing as failure. You're not a failure. Your failure is because you still base your failure based on somebody else's term of what success is. That's the only reason why you still fear failure. You are afraid of what somebody else is going to say. And I keep telling you guys the same thing. I left an almost 11-year career where that was my career. That's where I was going. There was only moving up in there, right? And I left that to do what I do. And I fucking love what I do. I would not go back and change it at all. Shit, I would have left earlier. Bye. Love and light. We get so afraid because we don't know. We don't have a plan. We don't see it. Even if you have a plan, you don't see it. You're just like, I don't know. This is kind of scary. But that's the shit we need to fucking do. We need to do the shit that scares us because you don't know where it's going to take you. 4 years ago, if you would have told me that I'd be influencing on social media and be in such a healed state that I have created happiness in my life, I would have told you you're fucking nuts. I would have said you're bananas. I would have had a look of get the fuck out of here on my face. I wouldn't have believed it. Not even a little bit. Those paths that fear you are beautiful. Allow yourself to move past it. If there's things that you want to do, stop waiting. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for approval. You're waiting for someone to give you the go. You're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to do it. What are we waiting on? Hell yeah, you only fail when you don't try. I think even, because a lot of people are like, oh, but remember I tried that and that didn't work. Maybe the planning was off. Maybe the timing wasn't right. I just had to have this lesson because it's like, man, I'm ready to do this, spirit. Like, why are we just sitting here? And spirit's like, sometimes when you're ready, the other people that you need aren't ready. Sometimes when you're ready, you're not aligned with the road that you need to go. So sometimes you just got to chill the fuck out and know that everything is where it is. Everybody's going to plan. Okay. Because sometimes we get a little bit impatient on the road, right? Yeah. Fear of change is one of the biggest one because I've had to deal with that one. And that's a biggie because I get very, very afraid of change that I can't see and I can't plan. And that comes from a childhood wound of us always being evicted and having to move around. Because as I was a child, we moved around a lot. Like we'd be a couple months here, year here. Um, there was times I came from school, all our shit would be on the sidewalk. Um, so my fear of change, of things that I don't know abruptly change, there's a fear behind it of not having control on what's going on in my life. And that stems from I know where it stems from. It's something that I consciously work on every day. And so I've pushed myself to do some things that scare the fuck out of me, right? I've pushed myself because if you stay in that place of it's a false sense of security. Once we've built a false sense of, I don't care if you own your home. Okay. In this society, even if you own your home, there's a chance that you could lose that shit. It's a false sense of security. None of us are safe. Anything at any time can happen. Okay. So most of the time we build this false sense. And I used to think, well, I'm clocking in, I'm good. I've been at this place 10 years. At any time, that business could have collapsed and I could have been fired. So we walk around with this false sense of I'm okay, false sense of security, false, oh, I'm good. But then in reality, it's like, no, you're not. At any fucking time, this shit could blow the fuck up. And then what? And then what? You're not as safe as you think you are. So we have to release the fear behind it, right? Stop exactly not letting it paralyze us to where we can't get to our dreams and our goals so that we cannot create shit. I had a fear of creating stuff like my herbs, my sprays that I made. I had a fear because I had a past life, unfortunately, that I got too cocky in my abilities and I ended up killing people because of whatever it was that I had created. And I actually, a lot of people died at my hands. Stuff like that is in your past. It carries on with you, and you don't understand why you have these fears, but you have these fears because you're like, fuck, I let my ego get to me at one point. And so that stuck with me. And I was afraid to create, afraid to make stuff, afraid to make, essential oils. Why the fuck are you afraid to make essential oils? Not because I'm gonna fail, but because like what if someone gets allergic? What if someone, what all of these what ifs? But that came from a past life, you know, that happened. Tragic fucking past life. So sometimes we have this underlining shit that we don't even understand is hurting us. And until you start digging deeper inside you, you won't understand it. You'll just live in that fear. You'll live in that fear to do something, right? I had this huge fear of losing my twin. And it's still something that's there a little bit where I still work on it because in a past life I was murdered. I was murdered in a past life and that was a tragic loss and I was taken from him. So there's these underlining sometimes fears and it doesn't make no sense to have it. But if you don't push yourself to move past it, you will always stay with that fear. And that fear does shit to you physically, emotionally, mentally. It fucks with you on so many levels, right? I'm starting to go with the flow, Renee, because like I said, because of my childhood, everything always changed. And it was just like, it was always like, fuck, my school always changed, my friends always changed. It wasn't until I started to get older that when we moved, we stayed in the same like little neighborhood, even though we kept moving. So I still got to go to the same school. But through my younger years, no, I always was the new kid in a new school, and I was poor. And so it just was hard. It was hard to be that. It was hard to that change. So as my adult years, I've had to like fuck. And I've actually moved a lot as an adult, not even realizing that I was still doing the same behavior. Even though I chose to move, it was still like I would be, it was like embedded in me. Like, oh, year's done, time to move. I'm sick of this place. Not even realizing that it was tied together, not even realize that my shift was that shift that was embedded in me as a child, as a child, and to move around. Right. Hey, Money Marv. Good morning. Oh, damn. You've been in the same house since birth? I used to be jealous of people like that. This is like you're in your home of your child. What does that feel like? I don't know. I don't know if that feels good or not. When my daughter got to her teen years, um, when my daughter got to her teen years, I was feeling very guilty because all the times we moved, we literally moved states. I'm not just talking about neighborhoods. Like we moved states. And like we moved from Cali to Florida, Florida, North Carolina, Carolina to Nevada, and then here. And when my daughter was a teenager, she was just like, "No, mom, I would never take it back. We got to move. We got to go see some things." She was like, "You know how many kids I know at school that have never been out of Nevada?" And I was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't change my childhood." She was like, "We got to see a lot of stuff and we got to travel." And she was like, "Mom, nobody I know has been out of the city." And I was like, "Wow." And it kind of hit me because I was like, man, have I done wrong? Did I fuck up her childhood because we kept moving around? And I started to notice some things. You start to reflect back and you're looking at some things. You're like, damn. And she was just like, no, mom, you're good. Yeah. I have always been into like past life stuff, little here or there. And then when I got into this field, past life energy was very strong, and I would pick up on it on other people, on myself very strongly. And so I believe that our past life plays a huge part in our lives, and it is for us to understand. If it's not meant for you to see, you won't see. The good thing about your higher self, because a lot of people have a fear like, oh, if you open that door, you're going to see some shit that you don't want to see. Let me tell you about your higher self. Okay. Let me tell you about your higher self. Your higher self ain't playing that shit. Your higher self is not going to let you see some shit that you can't take. Your higher self is not going to let you experience some shit that you're not ready to see. I've been in many sessions where my higher self is like, yeah, no, it's not time. And I'm all pissed off and mad. Like, why? I'm ready. I'm really ready. And higher self is like, no, bitch, go sit down. You still got work to do. Fear of abandonment is huge. I had that. I had a fear of abandonment because, as a kid, I felt abandoned. The biggest thing is not only seeing, what's happened to you, understanding it. You got to start to understand it when those fear of abandonment comes in. Why? What are you really afraid of? Well, I'm afraid of being left behind. Okay, what's the worst thing? And I got this from Nicole Laswell. If you guys have seen Nicole, beautiful healer, reach out to her. I did theta with her. It's like, what's the worst thing? She would say, what's the worst thing if you're abandoned? And it always goes back to being alone. There's no abandonment issue that doesn't go back to being alone. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to sit in the energy of being alone. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck how many people are like, oh, you got to become this whole being. Look, nobody wants to be alone. I'm not saying to not empower yourself, but nobody fucking wants to sit and be alone for the rest of their life. It just is, right? Fear of winning is, Betty, I've went through that. I'm telling you, a lot of my past lives, I let my ego get to me, right? So there was a part of me that used to be fear of shining. That's why I created Divine Moon Goddess. It was a fear to use my real name. It was a fear behind that. Oh, I can't use my real name. Even writing, I had, a pen name. AG Milestones is my pen name for writing. And it was just like I had this fear. And it's, why? Because my ego got to me and I've been murdered. I've been fucking murdered. For that status, I have been murdered. So you sometimes you don't understand why, but that's why you have to start to look into it and start to work through it. Like, damn. And this life, even as a child, I've been judged left and right, left and right. I've been judged. And no matter what I would do, it was like someone had some towards a judgment towards me, like, who are you? Who do you think you are? And it's like, bitch, I'm me. So now I'm in the energy like I'm me. I don't give a fuck what you think. Like I'm me. If you don't like me, too bad. If you like me, great. You don't like me, bye. But you have to get there. Because when I was a kid, it used to hurt. I'd be like, why don't they like me? Why does this person like me? They have no reason not to like me. It would hurt my fucking feelings. And now I'm just like, whatever. But it comes from these things from our past, and we don't realize. And even our childhood, we grow up, and so we don't want to do better because we don't want to outshine people. We don't want to make people feel bad. I don't want to make this person feel bad because I'm doing good. Wait, what does your success or your happiness have to do with the next person? It doesn't. That's their path. That's their life. Hey, new time viewer, Xtina, love and light boo. That's their shit. That has nothing to do with you. Shine and keep fucking shining. Don't dim your light for someone else because they have a problem with it. They don't believe in you. Okay, great. When I used to talk about leaving my job to do what I was doing, and at that time, I did not understand the extent of what I was going to do. I just knew I was going into healing and I was going to use the means of tarot to open the door. Because at that time, I wasn't even into mediumship yet at the time. I didn't even really realize I was a medium. And I just knew that. And people would look at me like, you're going to leave your job for that? Like, are you fucking crazy? And I know some people were like, are you fucking stupid? It's like, bye. I'm going to go chase my dreams at almost 40. And I know some people were like, the fuck? I was very invested in my 401k. So yeah, I was able to kind of, use that for a bit, but I really didn't need the 401k. I actually took my 401k and invested in myself and my business. When it got cashed out, you gotta just get into that point where you understand and allow yourself to understand and know that a lot of people aren't going to see you in the same light. They're not going to notice you in the same light. They're not going to want you to do better than them. And that's okay. Don't keep yourself in a lower level because somebody else's energy. Don't do that shit. Yeah, I am getting the credentials. I don't know if I'll have them this year because I can't remember how long the program is, but I actually am going to get the credentials to do past life regression. I actually love it. I think it's an awesome process. And I think that it can do wonders, especially when you have stuff that you can't figure out why you're stuck in a particular repetitive pattern. The biggest thing to understand about karmic patterns is they're repetitive. They're repetitive. They keep happening and you really can't figure it out. It's like, why do I keep doing what I'm doing? Why do I keep going through the same shit? Right. Right. I will tell you at some time, Crystal, your kids will thank you for the struggle. One of the things where I look back at my parents and I'm just like, I actually thank them. They taught me how to survive. If this shit goes like me and my daughter, when the Rona hit, right? And everybody was fucking going batshit crazy over toilet paper. I kid you not. Me and my daughter were looking at each other like, the fuck is wrong with these people? I was like, you obviously have never been poor. Like you obviously have never had to take a wash towel to wipe your ass, or you never had to take toilet newspaper to wipe your ass. You obviously never had to jump in the shower because of not having no toilet paper, because you obviously have not been broke. And when you've been poor, and I mean like really poor, I'm not talking about some of y'all are rich poor. Y'all think you were poor, but you actually always had fucking toilet paper. You probably can't remember a day that you didn't. If you don't, if you haven't gone through that shit, it's just like, so when I look at my parents, I'm like, you know what? I got to commend you guys because you guys actually taught me how to fucking survive. You actually taught me some survival fucking skills that a lot of people will not make it if shit starts to crash and burn. And I actually will. I actually will be okay. I think when you get shit handed down, you're not going to have the same type of level of appreciation or gratitude for it. If everything is handed to you, everything's given to you, you don't work for shit. What would you learn? What would be your experience? You wouldn't. You wouldn't have no gratitude. You wouldn't be appreciative. You wouldn't give a shit. It just wouldn't, you know? So I think a lot of the stuff that we go through, that's where we have to change it. We have to get to a point where we start being gracious. Like, you know what? I'm actually thankful for some of the shit that I went through because it taught me some lessons and it gave me some survival. And some of it is street knowledge. You can't learn that shit if you tried. I don't give a fuck if they had a class of street knowledge. Like, yeah, we're going to do a class. I'm going to teach you about the street. No, no, the fuck you can't. That's some shit you got to learn hands on, right? Right. You have a lot. Yeah, you have a lot of stuff, Mandy. I hope you're working through all of that. Um, and I think little by little you just work through your things. I'm not mad at my parents because they couldn't become the parents that I want and we weren't rich. There was a time I used to be like, fuck, why do we have to be so poor? But in this life I was meant to experience this. This is something that I was meant to experience and I did choose my parents. I chose them. So it's like you started your 401k. Uh-huh. I started my 401k like back in like 2013. I think it was like 2013. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna start a 401k, right? 11:11 on the clock. Um, and it was like one of those things. Now I kind of don't give a shit about a 401k. Not right now. I will. I will, but I kind of like deviated from the path of saving and all that and kind of just went into a different. And so now I'm like back to okay, now I got to kind of regroup. Man, I'm telling you, like, no, we were poor. We were poor. When I say we were poor, we were poor. Okay. And if you went through shit like that, you know how to survive. You know how to go get water because you didn't have no running water at times. You know how to fumble in the dark. You got cat vision because your ass didn't have a fucking, light set sometimes. You got to remember, like, you go through certain things to acquire these skills. And if you stay in a space of poor me, I was the poor kid and oh, I had this hard life, so fucking what? Some people had it rougher than me. And I did have a poor life. We were very poor, but I thank my parents because they taught me some valuable lessons. And I'm telling you, when I saw those people fighting over toilet paper, I was like, y'all got me fucked up. Ain't no way I'm fighting anybody over no fucking toilet paper. I know how to get by. I'll be okay. You got to look at these major lessons. One thing, us moving and having to leave shit behind taught me how to let shit go. It taught me how to let go. And every time I moved, let me say, when I moved from state to state, I would give all my shit away. I would sell it. I'd be like, bye, let this shit go. No problem to leave shit behind. So my life has been, if it's time to go, it's time to go. If it's time to let go, time to let go. No problem with that. So some of these lessons were actually good lessons. Didn't feel like it when it was happening. It didn't feel like that when I had to go through it. It caused a fear, but some of it taught me some huge things that I could take away from it. And so now as an adult, it's about letting go of those fears, letting go of that stuff that holds on to us to understand that it's okay to move forward. It's okay to let things go. It's okay to be poor. It's okay to be broke. Don't stay there. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to stay there. But if your intentions are purely material goods, we all know material goods is not going to create happiness. Does it help? Yeah, of course it does. But it's not going to help. If you have a fear of success, you got to start looking at what does success mean to me? You got to start breaking this down, not just put labels and words on it, more words. What are you exactly afraid of? And what is success to you? If you have a fear of failure, what is it that you're truly afraid of? Is it the failing or that you don't truly believe in yourself? Because when you start asking yourself some questions, and this is what I do in shadow work, you guys can book a session if you want, we start to look deeper. It's not just the word of failure. What's after that? There's something after that. You're not just afraid of failing. What else is there? There's something else there. And you got to go deeper to see what is that? What am I so afraid of? What am I so scared to leave? What am I so scared to lose? What am I not trusting within myself? You don't trust yourself or you don't trust someone else. Right, right. And you probably should, Mandy. Let me tell you, one of the things I did not know that I was going to be doing shit like this on my platform. Everyone has social media. It's easy to fucking talk to people. It is easy to start. You just got to start. And a lot of you guys have shit that you've been through, and you don't even understand what your path will do for someone else. When I really realized it was in July of 2020, I started my first healing circle. And I opened up a space for people to come. And I was surprised. It was like 20 something people in the fucking Zoom. And I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. There's a lot of people, you know? And I remember just because that's how I am, I flow. And I just remember flowing in that healing circle. And I just remember that I was talking about some of the shit I had been through, some of the stuff going a little bit deeper. And I remember that inspired other people to talk about what they've been through. And when they were talking about what they did, other people were inspired to talk about it and relieve and let go. Okay. So you don't really understand how profound the shit that you've been through can help someone. You don't understand that you may have the very necessary energy, information, know that somebody else has been looking for. And you don't know it because we've minimized ourselves to think we're insignificant. We don't matter. Nobody would want to talk to us. Nobody would want to hear from us. Who would want to hear? I used to sit here in this path and be like, fuck, who would want to hear? Who would want to fucking take advice from me? There was a fear from going from YouTube to Facebook and doing lives. It's like, who the fuck would want to watch me? Who the fuck would want to get advice from me? My life ain't perfect. You know, nobody's gonna fucking want to hear me. And Spirit was just like, just do it. Get out of that. Get out of that space. And like, boom, oh shit, game changer. So you just got to remember that a lot of, instead of sitting in the poor me, my life was fucked up. Start using that to help others. Start showing people, man, if I could get my shit together, so could you. If at almost 40, I could change my life drastically, change my income drastically, and make my whole life somewhere I really truly want it and create real happiness. And I'm not talking about that phony bullshit you see on the ads, that fucking phony bullshit. I'm so happy and perfect, and every day is fucking rainbows and butterflies, blah fucking blah. We know those people. I ain't talking about those people, okay? We know those people. No, life is not perfect. No, life is not going to be rainbows and fucking butterflies every day. No, you and your spouse won't get along and like each other all the time. Normal shit. You will have days that test you. You will have days that are sad. You will have days that hurt. You will have days that you feel like you're falling apart. The key is to take away, what can you take away from every experience? And how can you create joy and happiness in your life every day? Anger, sadness, envy, jealousy, all of that is primal emotions. We go through it. Fear is also a primal emotion because we go into survival mode. Some of us have been surviving our whole lives. You haven't been thriving, you've been surviving. Thriving is different. Thriving feels different. So much different from surviving. I know the difference from surviving and thriving. Big fucking difference. And when you start to get into the thrive mode, you're like, the fuck this? What? Wait, what? What is this? You got to step out of that. Fear will have you surviving because you're afraid there's not enough. When you're surviving, you're afraid that somehow somebody's going to take what you have. When you're surviving, you are trying to survive. So you're in competition with every fucking body. When you're thriving, you're no longer in competition. You understand that there's enough for everybody. You understand that there is a place for you in this world, and you are that magnet for money. And you know you have something to offer that people need. And once you start to really change it and get out of the fear, you start to see your worth. That's where your worth comes in. That's where the real worth comes in. And you stop being afraid of being you. And you stop being afraid to say the shit that you need to say. And you stop being afraid of showing up for yourself. That's the game changer. You get out of survival mode and you get into thrive mode. Huge. Oh, I'm just reading your stuff about the hospital slides. It's the imperfections that make us fabulous. Yas, fucking goddesses. I got to put that up there. Yes. Yes. What do I say? Imperfectly perfect. Imperfectly perfect. Remember that. We're not meant to be perfect fucking robots walking around here saying the right shit, always being proper. Get the fuck out of here. We're meant to fuck up. We came here for experiences. It's what do you do with the experience? What do you do with the lesson? Okay? That's where we want to be. You probably got a lot of stuff, Mandy. I suggest you could even, I don't know if you're in the group, but start posting in the group. Start just posting topics. I think you guys just got to find a outlet to do it and the want to do it. One of the biggest things to step out of this fear, start finding something greater than self. And if you can find something greater than self, you start to have a passion and a purpose. And when you get the passion and purpose, it's a game changer. So again, when we go back to fear, fear is going to keep you in this box. Exactly. Surviving, fighting. You got to get tired of that. That's how I felt in 2018. In 2018, it was the beginning of 2018. I was at a very low point in my life. I had allowed my family to get me to a place where I lost my place the first time in my life that an apartment complex asked me to move. They didn't evict me, but they said they couldn't renew my lease. And I broke down. First time I had ever had an apartment complex tell me that they didn't want to renew my lease. And that was at the end of 2017. And I remember just feeling so low. I remember feeling so broken, and I was just so tired. I was tired of being tired. I was tired of myself, and I was tired of the decisions that I had made. And I was tired of putting everyone before my needs. And I just got to a point where I was just like, I can't keep doing this shit. And I remember, going to my best friend's house, and I was sleeping on her couch in the beginning of 2018. And for the first couple of months of 2018, I was sleeping on her couch. And I just every day could not even fathom how I got there. Like, how the fuck did I get here? How did I get to this point in my late 30s? So, again, there will be points that you fall, and it's okay. It is okay. Because again, you got to start going through the failure, success, what you thought your success was, where you thought you were going, where did you go, all of that stuff. You got to start to work through that. And I was at that point where it was just like, I was so tired and I had to change. And I was so broken inside. My heart was hurting. And I was like, I can't live like this. I can't live like this no more. This is enough. Enough is enough. And so I started to look into ways to heal. I went back to church, although that wasn't it for me, right? Because you got to experience, you got to see, you got to let your heart take you where you need to take you, right? And then I was just like, I'm done with this. I can't. And so I was just like, I got to heal. Something inside me was like, I got to heal. And so I started to look for ways to heal. And I started buying healing candles. By the early part of 2019, I started going to the spiritual store and I started getting healing candles and lighting them, setting the intention. We're not even going to talk about my spiritual awakening in 2019. A lot happened in 2019. 2019 was a very harsh year for me. Very harsh, very emotionally harsh in 2019. and I still was having family issues, still was having issues going on, and I was still going through some emotions that I needed to break, bad habits that were still there. And so 2019 was a very awakening year for me. And it got me to kind of see a lot of stuff a little bit differently. So don't get caught up in the success and failure, the fear of it all. Tell yourself if you're afraid, it's probably something to do. If you fear it, that's probably what you need to do. Because some of the things that we're afraid to do are probably some of the most profound shit we'll ever do in our lives. Okay. Right. You definitely start, like I said, start somewhere. I love just talking about real shit. That's me. I love it. And I love that I can do this, that I can do this. Um, and I think we need more of this. We need more of having these real ass conversations where it's like, damn, so you can see you're not alone. The biggest thing is to understand you're not alone. You're not the only one out here who's gone through it. And when you start talking about some shit you've been through, someone's like, damn, I didn't know everybody else went through that. Like, I understand your pain because I've been there. So when you can connect with people because we've all been through a lot of this shit. Is to understand that you're not alone. Hey, Angie. Hey, Tiffany. So understand you're not. There's so many people. Get out of the place of fear. Let it go. If you're afraid of something, ask yourself the whys. Why am I afraid? And whatever word comes up, ask, why is this word here? Why is this? Why am I afraid of this? You start to pick it apart. You'll see it's attached to other people, other things. It's not even you. So let it go. All right. Mandy, what was your question, boo? So I could get your question. And then Tiffany, the other Tiffany, if you're still in here who donated, let me know so I can get you guys questions. We're at the hour mark. So I am going to end this live. It will end, Crystal, when you get to the point where you want it to end. I can tell you, I used to ask that, like, oh my God, when is my life going to get better? When am I going to be happy? You know what I mean? And I will tell you, it's when you create it. Um, we can stay in a place where we don't understand, right? We can stay in a place where we're like, when, spirit. But spirit's like when you create it. When you create it, okay? It's not when it's going to happen. It's not when spirit's going to allow it to happen. It's when do you create it? And when you truly start to move a different way, you start to think a different way, you start to process a different way, when you start to add value to your life, and I mean not just making money and thinking about yourself, when you start to help others, when you find a purpose, when you find something greater than self and family and friends, shit shifts for you. Shit changes for you. And that are some of the things that you just gotta do. Okay. Um, but it's not when is it going to happen? It's when am I going to make it happen? And once you start to become accountable for your actions, that you are a co-creator in your life, that's when you stop being the victim. You got to stop being the victim. Everything is not everybody else doing it to you. Everything is not circumstance. Life ain't fucking you over. I used to be one like, man, life is bending me over without no Vaseline. That was kind of like the shit I used to say. But then you kind of understand when you're growing that no, life hasn't been the one fucking me. I've been fucking myself. Okay. Once you start to realize and you start to change, you'll pull yourself out of that. You say, no more. I'm going to create the life that I want. I'm going to create the work that I want. I'm going to create the opportunities that I want. And if you don't feel like you have opportunities, again, you don't believe in yourself. You got to get into co-creator energy. Co-creator energy means that you can create a good life. But remember, you are co-creating, meaning there's a divine plan also. You got to get in line with your creator. And I don't care if you believe in God, Allah, Buddha, Jesus, whoever, right? You got to get in line with your creator. What is the divine plan? Co-create with them, okay? I didn't even see the sad faces, Christina.